Yo, what up? It's your boy Florentine Abraham, aka Thurley, in here, coming in with a Halo Halo 5 Pro breakdown of Game 5 in a Pro League series where Optic could have been undefeated if they were able to close out this game or, win the series. But however, Liquid was able to take that victory and give Optic their only L in the Pro League. Obviously, Optic had a lot of opportunities in the other games, but in this game, they were also up in this game 5, 48-42 in the closing minutes, but weren't able to close it out. And we're going to break down a few good things and a few bad things that transpired to lead to that outcome. So I want to start off real quick on a micro scale, real quick. Snakebite and Optic here, and Snakebite and Optic, Roll 2 and Snakebite in the duo right here, controlling the car side. Wait, let me go back. Get real quick. So, we're gonna double back real quick. And I just want to point out this macro detail because this is showing how if you're not clearing you're not making sure everything in your sector is clear and you're too focused across the map where Roll 2 never checks the surroundings and just is distracted. Liquid perfectly execute this backman strat where this guy creates some aggro and this front man sneaks up and kills Roll 2 here. But that's just a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. So Optic is able to get into a mid-map control setup here and attempt to spawn trap Liquid into the red base. Frosty's going to the middle of the map. You got PJ at Carso. They have a 3-man 6 to 8 sectors right here. They have them trapped in one sector in red base. All the maps can be split into 9 sectors in Halo 5. Usually whoever's controlling the most sectors and how you manipulate that usually helps a team win. So Optics gets a pick right here. They're going to utilize a 3-man swarm and do a 3v1 on this one player. Now they're inverting the spawn system, giving up. They're taking control of one, which the swarming phase means, taking over at least one sector of your opponent's control, that is in your opponent's control, and giving up at least one sector on your end. So they're inverting the spawn system, making them spawn blue base. What's really good right here is on Roll 2, Matson, where he spawns red bubble and is able to realize, okay, like I have 3 players already pushing on that player, I don't need to help with that. So he's extending over to level 3 level balance or level positioning and is able to collect information, gain ground, gain some more sectors for his team, and also collect information. Oh, they're spawning blue. Are they going to be pushing me car? No, they're not. So that must mean they're pushing from their base or pushing P, and he's able to collect that information. Optic from here sends sends Frosty to top mid. Lethal is weak, so he's going to wait for his shields to recharge and then he's going to reestablish P. And then PJ decides to push and double up with Car with Matt. Now at this point, Optic shifts into a top mid setup. They have 2 people top mid. Now they have Liquid trapped into 2 sectors, one here and then one in the blue P area. Liquid is trying to establish the P2 to get one more and get 3 sectors of the map, but Optic's gonna see if they can shut this down real quick. So unfortunately, Optic loses Frosty, but with a 3v4, they still push it because they have the map advantage. This was a huge portion or a huge part of the game because Camel was up, and because Optic swarmed earlier on that 3-man swarm and collapsed into the red base, they kind of put themselves out of positioning for the camo and had to re-establish mid-map control. But because of the lead, they don't necessarily need to get it. It would be nice if they could, but now they utilize height 2 level positioning, and B is caught in the level 1 height positioning, and they're able to predict his movement, see that he got camo, win the top fight, and now they use their positioning to take him out. And now what's really impressive as well is that Matt on the backside of the setup was controlling the car, and he realizes that these guys are now respecting his presence in the blue base, so he decides to flank and push in, which also, again, switches the spawn system. Now they're spawning on the car side. So crossing top mid. He's gonna escape over to the blue base, double up with Matt. There's kind of a late reaction here. This guy was weak, so maybe they could have taken out Kevin here, but it's good that roll 2 stays alive in the grand scheme of things. And now Optic is kind of forming this U-ish type of setup where they're controlling around 5 to 6 sectors of the map, and they have Liquid trapped in these 3 sectors on car: the blue bubble, the middle car area, car 1, car 2, and then this bubble car area. So they can have, there could be multiple variations, but I'm going to just break down 2 variations of this setup real quick. They could have 2 people or 1 person on each street watching the front of the base, watching the middle of the map, getting that pinching angle on the car door, and then 1 in the base, so 1 in blue base, and then mirroring that on the other side, 1 in the red base / 1 on red street, collecting information, watching bottom mid, getting that pinch angle, is able to double back and help in this angle if need be. Or they can have a variation where they have 1 person anchoring the both streets / P2 / P1, being a zone safety in this area, a zone safety in the red base, controlling that ISO by himself, and then they have 2 players bunched up together in 1 base holding it down. This could be good if the opposing team is like flooding 2 to 4 players to that side of the map when they're in that car spawn trap. And maybe a 3rd variation, which Optic implements around the 7 to 8 minute portion of this game, is when you have 1 player controlling the blue sector, 1 player controlling the P area, each street, and P2, P3, 1 player controlling the red sector, being a zone safety there, and then have that 4th player either being car 1 and being a nuisance so he can like pinch when the opposing team is flooding into a car door, or being on a bubble so they can spawn trap them in the opposite bubble and keep them trapped in that 1 sector in car side and have even more control. So let's see, this is the big portion of the game because this is where Optic builds their 48 to 42 lead, and due to not executing on both sides, meaning on the blue side and the red side, they weren't able to sustain their lead or gain any ground and win the game, and ultimately put themselves in a red base spawn trap. So let's see how that transpires. Let's start on the red side with Lethal and PJ being in a pair. So to take this guy out, right here, PJ was on top of the base. It was kind of questionable for him to drop down. He was trying to dodge this nade, but maybe he could have just thrust her to the right over here. But he had the angle to help clean that guy up, and he did. And he kind of gave up positioning for that. So ideally, he would have wanted to not let this guy get an easy, uncontested push into red. However, we already know, okay, that's fine. Snakebite is ultimately alive, but now he has to adapt to that, and he didn't do that, unfortunately, in this play. So he's shooting across the map, so he's again revealing his positioning to the player above with audio cues. And Snakebite needs to be aware that, okay, like, due to timing, he needs to anticipate that these players on Liquid are smart and they have pushed their advantage and capitalized on people not watching certain angles in their zone. So Snakebite needs to take this very slow and make sure every portion is clear, and to make sure he stays in a position that he can still be helped from his teammate. And his teammate's getting weakened right now, so he's kind of limited in what he's able to do helping wise to help Snakebite stay alive. And what makes matters worse is Snakebite utilizes his thruster to get into this positioning to shut down that job that he was originally supposed to be trying to do, and now he's put himself in a position to quickly get taken out, no escape. He dies, and then Lethal now needs to realize, okay, we have a lead right now. I can fall back into P and control this and be closer to my teammates and have more of a sound balance, and be able to have more help and stay alive and just milk our lead and wait for Snakebite to spawn and then make a team play from there. Or just, you know, play this really slow, be a nuisance here and just stay alive and wait for Snakebite to spawn. Maybe somebody to fill the P to be that middleman, or at least get the trade here at worst. So at least, you know, you get 49 kills and you're getting closer to 50 at that point. But unfortunately, because Liquid is implementing a L type of formation here, controlling about 4 sectors, red sector, this car sector, they have a middleman, kind of creating a 3-1 scheme right here, but also being in a position to help this blue bubble ISO guy, who's doing a great job holding 2 people's aggro right here, which is allowing to create more numbers on this side of the map. and they were able to take out Lethal because they're utilizing a front man right here with a back man situation to create that pinch. So Lethal was unable to get that cleanup. And now let's go back real quick and break down the blue side real quick. Because if we execute on the blue side, that means we're getting closer to either winning the game or putting ourselves in a better position. But we weren't able to compensate. Blue was unable to execute to compensate for the red misplay on that side of the map. So let's see how that goes down. Well, 2 staying alive. They take out Kevin here. Snakebite shoots him across the map from the red base.
5 minutes remain.
Now B is coming in. They see him anchoring that position. Right here, Matt also has the option to fall back into the street or anchor the car real quick, or anchor the P, I mean, or stay here. You can also stay here in the blue base, but they have to still understand that this is the hive, aka where they know the enemy team is continuously spawning due to the spawn trap that Optic is implementing on them. So this was kind of bad on the newer muscular level, because we see both Matt and Brad shoot twice on B, but however they didn't land one shot on him. So now Frosty's going into this battle, and B kind of has the advantage because he has cover, and plus now this is where they're all spawning, so they're quickly implementing that middleman, being that connector between the red base guy controlling that area and the bubble guy, to have a front man and back man concept again. And Frosty is going to be taken out here, and then Matt has an option to, like, okay, I could just stay blue, stay alive, and hold it down with Snakebite. But he goes into this no man's land where now he has no thruster, as well as you can see with the visual cues that he has no escape here, and he's going to just get melted and double teamed. And then PJ spawns here, and he doesn't look top mid when he fresh spawns. He just reacts to the callouts, which is good, but we have to understand that the callouts, though, is giving information that's a 3v1 on that side, and you're going to just make it 3v2. That's still a disadvantage. Right here, you want to milk as much as possible. Maybe both of you drop into basement or get into annoying positions like the attic and the Eli, and delay your death as long as possible. Maybe Frosty and them are going to get a split spawn on red, and hopefully they can collapse and utilize your guys' aggro of delaying and make Liquid allocate, you know, a lot of resources just to take them out and be able to reestablish better map positioning and not get trapped and put into a spawn trap cycle. So this was kind of bad. They both died here very quickly, but Liquid, I have to give, you know, credit to Liquid as well, getting a good 90-degree pinch. This guy, you know, spawning car going top mid, because again, Liquid is exposing how Optic didn't have any middleman controlling P to watch this car 2 to top mid push easily with no contests, and no one's in the base as well looking at top mid. So yeah, congrats and credit to Liquid exposing that and being aggressive and capitalizing and taking them out. Now this is the final portion of the game where Optic utilizes a 1-3, meaning 1 player ISO red base, which is Lethal, and 3 players pushing out P side to try to win the game or create better map positioning. So their goal probably is to create a U formation again, or controlling at least 5 sectors of the map: red sector, blue sector, P sector, red street sector, and red blue sector area. But there's a few things they could have done. There's 2 ultimate things they could have done. 1, execute the strat that they were implementing better, that they chose to do, or maybe think about a different strategy, maybe sending more resources to car side instead, because camo's really not coming up, so that's not really a factor, and it's just harder to push P when they have height control and they have all the top positionings. So let's see how this is implemented. So we have to go to Frosty because he's the key into this, because he collects some information. He spawns in the back of the base. He's getting shot car, but he only sees maybe 1, 2 of these players. He saw the bottom mid guy, so he knows there's 2 people car. So maybe that's why they're thinking, oh, their logic is, oh, they're playing probably 2 to 3 man heavy on car. Let's push P where they don't have any presence, and quickly expand our map control. They could have done that, so they're basically choosing not to headbutt and go the other way around. But they could have done things better on this. it goes down to two parts. Where one, they need to utilize the backman slash ISO man on red base needs to have better positioning, and then also they need to have a better push onto the P side. Maybe send two people P1 and one person P2, or maybe one P3, one P2, and one P1, something of that nature. In combination with the ISO man also playing better, like I said. So there it seems like Optic's main goal right now is to take out this P3 player. Once they do that, that can give them an easy kill. It's the same thing. They're utilizing that regret strat where they, your spawn traps, you push P and you take out that ISO P player. But TJ right here, he's in utilizing level 1 height positioning, which keeps him alive and stuff. But he has a limited angle on P3, where he could have been utilizing level 2 or level 3 height positioning to his advantage, where he can look at car 2, look at top mid, get a better angle, and clean up this guy P3 and create some aggro as well on the map, and be able to rotate out if he needs to, because he's in a better position for that. But he's trapped into the bottom of the base and he has limited angles. And then on the trio end, Liquid was able to see Snakebyte's transition, and they know that he's P1 right now. They sent Matt and Brad to P2, and then unfortunately, it seems like there might have been a teammate here with Snakebite to Brad, but Penguin, or aka Sub-Zero, gets a perfect on Snakebite right here, and then Liquid was able to create that pinch, that backman and frontman combo, and take out Frosty as well. So what could have been different right here is that Matt can go P2 and have aggro on this guy, pressure this guy away, the guy that's going to be anchoring Eli. So if we have two players pushing P1, they're not going to be getting pinched from this guy Eli, because there's pressure being applied there, and they can possibly take this guy out. Or if they have this guy P3, have a player like pressure this guy Car and whatnot. Like, that's why this guy, again, Attic, is so important. He can nade this guy, contest, put damage on him, clean up the P3 guy himself. But if the Car 3 guy, if this guy's just gonna stay tunnel to roll 2 and P2, the Attic guy can capitalize on that. But due to Lethal's positioning, they weren't able to do that. So now roll 2 is by himself, and he has no other choice but to escape and stay alive. But Liquid understands their advantage right now. They're playing aggressive. They know they can just push their advantage up, and they win the game and complete the comeback. So that's ultimately the breakdown. It's Sterlian, part of Transcend. Why limit yourself when you have the ability to transcend? You can look forward to more stream and pro film breakdown, and look for more content. We're also doing some consultations for 4v4 and also 1v1. Hit up Euphoric Sean on Twitter or Old School Skills on Xbox Live for some 1v1 consultations or 2v2. And I'm signing off. Thank you for tuning in.